Thank you. Please.
Babar Ali.
Yes, sir.
Feel comfortable. Relax ho jao. Having a sort of a discussion with you. I think to begin with, you can introduce yourself.
Sir, my name is Babar Ali. I belong to Tehsil Dod of district CSS-2020 from Sindh. I obtained my primary education from my village where my father was a primary school teacher. And then in 2004, I moved to Nawab Shah where I got the rest of my education. That includes secondary, higher secondary, and the graduation. I have graduated in electrical engineering from Qadiam University, Nawab Shah. After my graduation in 2018, I moved to Karachi, where I started preparing for competitive exams. I appeared in CSS 2019 and I failed in ASA. And after that, I worked on my deficiencies, and Alhamdulillah, today I'm here.
Do you hail from Sindh Rural?
Yes.
How many districts are there in the province of Sindh?
Sir, I believe there are 32 districts in Sindh.
And how many are there in rural Sindh?
In rural Sindh, if we exclude the 6 districts of Karachi, one of Hyderabad, and the one of Sakkar, that gives 8, and so 8 minus 32, 32 minus 8, that gives 24 districts of rural.
There are 6 districts in Karachi or 5?
So now a 6 is being done.
A 6th is being created. Now there is a criticism about this population census from a certain section of Karachi. What is your opinion?
Sir, I believe the actual population, if we consider those people that do not have citizenship, that is the migrants or the refugees of Afghanistan, if we include those people, then the actual population increases a lot. So if we are excluding them, then the population stands as it is in the census. But if we include those refugees and other immigrants, then the population of...
But they have been counted in this census. Census is in fact human count on that particular day. Whosoever is here, he is counted. वो refugees भी count हो जाते हैं and migrant भी count हो जाते हैं.
Sir, I believe then.
But do you think this is more this is more sort of a political issue, or there is any reality in it?
Yes, sir. There are also political elements involved. Politically, every party or every ethnic group they want to have a bigger share in the resources, so they want to have a bigger population. So there is a political element, but I believe that the census, if we include the refugees, then the census is justified as it is conducted. So I will agree with the census results.
Now, we as a country, we are facing this power crisis, and especially the circular debt. What is the circular debt?
Circular debt is a debt whereby different companies or organizations are involved. For example, in the power sector, we have the distribution companies. Now, distribution companies distribute power to the masses, and they collect bills, but they are not able to collect as much revenue from those masses. So when they have to pay back to the GenCos, the generating companies, then they lack funds. And then the GenCos who generate power, they need to pay back to the fuel companies. And when they receive less from the distribution companies, they have less to pay to the fuel companies. And then fuel companies, in the end, the government subsidizes those fuel companies. So there's a circle of debt, which starts from the grassroots of discos and goes up to the government. So government has to pay those missing funds. So this is circular debt.
What do you think, Babu? Do you think there could be, can we resolve this issue by any reform in the power sector can help us? What type of?
Sir, there are some reform. For example, if there is one solution of direct privatization of discos, but that is an extreme measure. There are other ways. For example, if we include the private sector, public-private partnership, then the performance of discourse can be improved. And there's also the issue of losses, power theft. If those are controlled, then also the circular debt can be controlled.
So what do you think this as a political situation in the country? How you will analyze this, because there is a movement on the part of the opposition? What do you think? Is it a genuine movement or it is a hoax?
Sir, I do not believe that it's a hoax or it's a genuine. I believe that there are some certain reservations on the opposition side that the government is the process of accountability is not, one can say, transparent. But on the whole, their demands are not justified. The government that is currently in place, it is a democratically elected government, and I would not support any measure that would undo this democratically elected government.
Babar, you live there in the rural Sindh? I keep on listening. Actually, I have never got an opportunity to serve there. But they say that in rural Sindh there is a lot of corruption on the part of the government functionaries. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. As in other parts of countries, the province of Sindh also has a major corruption issue. There's a huge problem of good governance. As in other areas, the province of Sindh also has this issue of good governance. There is corruption, no doubt, but I will not say that it is that much more than the other provinces. But I will say that it does exist.
Happens.
Electrical power. You're an engineer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't have any job experience.
No, sir. Right after my graduation, I switched my career and started preparing for the competitive exams.
Why? You should have continued. You are an electrical power engineer. That is your field. That is.
Yes, sir.
That is what you have learned. Why you switched over to want to become a CSS officer?
Sir, even though the electrical engineering is a good career, it's a professional field, but I believe that civil services will provide me a better opportunity. It's a better career-wise. It has greater perks. There's a vertical and horizontal mobility in CSS, civil services, and I believe that it gives the opportunity of leadership at a very young age. All of these factors led me to change the direction of my career to civil services.
Sweet. So late. You should have done it earlier before you started. Having education in engineering. You should have.
Yes, sir.
Thought beforehand. After having done your masters, and it's a very very good qualification, very impressive, and this is what you have done.
Yes, sir. At a young age, in my from where I belong, people are usually led to either engineering or to the medical science. So similarly, I was led to engineering. But as I got into the university, I learned that I felt that civil services would be more better for me.
Police is your first choice.
Yes, sir.
Under what law the police is working? The police working is being governed.
In the working of police, there are various laws. For example, Pakistan Penal Code is one.
No. Police.
There's
Police Act.
CRPC is also the Code of Criminal Procedure. The Police Act of 1861, that is one act on which police acts.
It is still in
Yes, sir, I believe it's still valid.
Where?
Practiced to this day.
Where?
In Pakistan, sir.
All over Pakistan?
No, sir, there have been reforming acts like the Police Order of 2022, and then various provinces have had their own policing acts, but they are more or less similar in nature to the Policing Act of 1860.
The only province is the Balochistan province where 1861 Act is still in force. Nowhere else. In Sindh, it used to be quite some time back, but they switched over to Police Order 2002. You know, can you tell us about some of the features of Police Order 2002?
The Police Order 2002, basically it involved the common citizens. The common citizens, public was given more say in the policing matter. For example, there were different kacheri systems where the problems of people would be discussed. Or, as far as I know, that is one factor.
National Public Safety Commission. Have you heard of that?
Yes, sir, but I'm not familiar with much details.
Provincial Public Safety Commission that at the district level, and the Police Complaint Authority independent, you see, to hold them accountable independently.
Yes, sir, I have to read on.
Separation of investigation from watching over duties, and there are so many others.
Right.
You should know that, because PSP your first choice.
Yes.
No, you should not take it lightly, because there in the CSS, if you are blank on it, then you have to cut a story figure. What is fifth generation war?
So fifth generation war is a type of war where the conventional measures of war are not involved. There are new forms of war. For example, there's the information war, the use of media, the use of opinion against your enemies, the use of your own public against you. All of these factors are come under the umbrella of fifth generation war, where there's no direct conflict, but the opinion of you run basically
Rational, less detail oriented. You can. What's this weakness? Less detail oriented.
Yes, sir. Some people are detail oriented. But me, I personally, I see the bigger picture. So I sometimes miss out on the minute details. So I figure that's not.
Mr. Babar, you should be writing appropriate words. Less detail oriented. Because the institute that we are saying, you should write proper word. Discuss with someone, and selection of words should be proper.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, less detail oriented, it creates a bad impression. What do you mean by rational?
So rational is, I believe, someone who does not rely on emotions alone. He sees the logic. He sees the what is actually happening. So a logical approach, someone who takes a logical approach would be a rational man.
Have you heard of Interpol?
Interpol? Yes, sir. It's international police.
And how would you differentiate between extradition and deportation?
Extradition and deputation.
Deportation.
So in extradition, a country extradites or simply sends a criminal or someone who is charged with a crime to another country with whom they have extradition treaty. But when a country deports someone, it does not mean that the other country to which the country is deporting, they do not want him back. There's no necessary guarantee that they want him back or they have requested his arrival. A deportation is simply one country sending deporting from its own land. While in extradition, there's two countries involved. One requests, the other sends.
A very simple question. Which Mughal empire was born in Sindh province?
Which Mughal emperor?
Emperor.
Yes.
Which Mughal emperor was born?
Sir, I believe Jahangir. No, he was son of Babar. I believe he was Humayun. Humayun was born in Umarkot province, Umarkot district of Sindh.
Normally we use two terms as in the Kashmir context. Normally we use two terms. One term is working boundary and the other term is line of control. What is the difference between the two?
Working boundary and line of control. I'm not sure about the working boundary, but line of control is when after the first war between India and Pakistan, the area, the control, the line over which the both countries were controlling. When the ceasefire was announced, that line was declared line of control because both respective countries controlled up to that point, which has continued to this day. Working boundary is the boundary that has resulted in the aftermath of separation of Pakistan and India, the creation of Pakistan. The actual boundary, that is the red cliff line, that would consider, I think, working boundary.
Last question. What are the three critical issues, governance issues in Pakistan? Three major governance issues.
Governance issues, I believe there's the issue of economy, ASP, that is one big major problem. Secondly, good governance, the delivery of service is also lacking, that is second major issue. And third major issue, I believe, the stability, political stability is major issue which haunts Pakistan.
Thank you. Babar, why you like Elon Musk?
Elon Musk, sir, I like him because he has a bright vision of where the future would be. For example, he is working on settling humans to Mars. So that is a process which was stalled. We see that in the 20th century there was a race for the moon, but after the Cold War ended, it was stopped. But now Elon Musk is one such person that has basically reignited this race and started this journey. So that is why I admire.
What is the financial net worth of his company Tesla?
Financial net worth of his, I'm not sure.
What are the new initiatives of artificial intelligence by Elon Musk?
Artificial intelligence by Elon Musk. There's one initiative called DeepMind, and that DeepMind is an initiative artificial by Elon Musk that is also used in Tesla cars and for autopilot driving and such. I'm not sure about the rest of it.
Okay. Name two territories which government of United States purchased after its creation.
Louisiana purchase was one, and after the Civil War, US also purchased Alaska from Russia.
What was the Marshall Plan?
So after the end of Second World War, Marshall Plan was basically investment in the rebuilding of Europe, which was financed by US.
Name the only president who remained president for more than 2 terms.
He was Roosevelt, Eleanor Roosevelt. No, that was President Roosevelt.
Which Roosevelt?
There were two Roosevelt.
Yes.
One was Theodore Roosevelt, that was before him, but in the 1930s.
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Okay. Any couplet you would like to share with us of Latif Bhai?
Yeah, sure, sir. Saim Sadaim Karimat Sindh Suka Dost Mitha Dildar Alam Se Baat Baat.
Thank you.
Hey, Babar, let's finish this interview. Abhi, we are preparing you for the real game. So now I think we should go for the debriefing session. Do you have any question for us?
Yes, that's how.
बाबर देखें, you have a presentable personality, अच्छी है आपकी, तो गेटअप अपना ठीक करो, बूट शूट काले पहन के जाना उस दिन, ठीक है, बी केयरफुल, नहीं ब्राउन नहीं, they are not going with your ड्रेस कोड होता है, ड्रेस कोड जो है ना डिफाइंड है, तो बिजनेस सूट नॉर्मली ब्लैक होता है, ये आपने कोड पतलून ठीक है ब्लैक वो कर लोगे, ठीक है, और कम्युनिकेशन स्किल आपके ठीक हैं, थोड़ा सा इम्प्रूव करो, मज़ीद क्लैरिटी लाओ, और उसके लिए यू नीड टू हैव सम प्रैक्टिस ऑन मिरर। उसके सामने खड़े होकर जो अखबार है ना उसको ज़ोर ज़ोर से पढ़ो, तो फिर तुम्हें फ्लुएंट हो जाओगे तुम्हारी लैंग्वेज। यू गिव इम्प्रेशन ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस, यू आर इंटेलिजेंट। और जो चीज़ें मैं देख रहा हूँ ना, एक तो थोड़ा सा नॉलेज गैप का इशू है, चीज़ों को अपडेट रखो और अपने दिमाग में पॉइंट्स बनाओ। when we are discussing something, जैसे ये पावर क्राइसिस है या सर्कुलर डेट है, तो आपकी क्लैरिटी होनी चाहिए कि सर्कुलर डेट आपने जिस तरह एक्सप्लेन किया वो भी ठीक है, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली इट इज़ बर्डन ऑन द बजट। ठीक है ना? तो प्रैक्टिस करने की ज़रूरत है, थोड़ा सा फ्लुएंट हो जाओ अपनी। कब है आपका इंटरव्यू? हाँ, तो यू हैव गॉट टाइम, टाइम को वेस्ट ना करो। ठीक है ना? पुराने अखबार लो और जितने भी करंट इश्यूज है ना, अब ये करंट इश्यूज की प्रिपरेशन डिफरेंट होती है। वो ये है कि वन शीटर, एक डायरी बनाओ, से समथिंग लाइक दिस, बस इस पे जो है ना हर टॉपिक में 4-5 पॉइंट लिख लिया करो और यही खोल के तुम ऐसे रिवाइज कर लिया करो। ठीक है ना? दिस इज द वे। अब आपके देयर आर लॉट मेनी इश्यूज, मिडिल ईस्ट का इश्यूज है, गल्फ का इश्यूज है, OIC का इशू है, इंडिया चाइना का इशू है, CPEC है, ठीक है ना, सेंट्रल एशिया है, अफगानिस्तान है, ये सारे इश्यूज हैं। तो आप 1, 2, 3, 4 आपके जेहन में हो पॉइंट के मैंने इन पॉइंट को प्रेजेंट करना है। तो इंशाल्लाह अगर तुम मेहनत करो तो रूरल सेंस से हो तो यू हैव गॉट अ फेयर चांस कि यू कैन मेक योर वे।
जो है ना अपना बिलाल साहब ने क्वेश्चन किया ना एलॉन मस्क के बारे में, देखो आपने लिखा हुआ है, ठीक है, उन्होंने कहीं बाहर से नहीं किया, अगर कोई और होता ना तो फिर तो, लेकिन उसके जो इनिशिएटिव्स हैं उसमें सारा मसलन SN6 के साथ 8 के साथ क्या हुआ है, 9 के साथ वो क्या कर रहा है, अच्छा फिर उसके बाद जो है जो इस सेटेलाइट्स वगैरह होगा, सारी चीज़ें फिर आपको पता होनी चाहिए थी। अगर आपको नहीं पता उसके बारे में फिर आप लिखते ना,
किताब में लिखो,
फिर उसको उसका लिखो ना, उसका नाम ना लिखो, ठीक है ना? आप जो है जिस वक्त आपने ये जो है अपना न्यूजीलैंड की प्राइम मिनिस्टर का लिखा, समझ आती है बात है। अच्छा, बॉबी फिशर का जिसने चेस थोड़ी बहुत खेली हुई है, पता है उसको कि बॉबी फिशर का कोई, इसका मतलब आप भी खेलते हो, तो ये बातें हैं। लेकिन PSP ऊपर लिखने के बाद जो है आपको जो है 2002 का जो पुलिस ऑर्डर का नहीं पता, तो खतरनाक है वो। जो ना पहले पढ़ो उसको, सबसे अच्छी तरह पढ़ो। ये क्वेश्चन जरूर होना है, ये अपना गौर साहब का जो है ना, ये क्वेश्चन हर एक ने तुमसे करना है।
This has been said, तो आप जरा अपनी मेहनत डबल करो, ठीक है?
सिंध रूरल के हम इंटरव्यू करते थे, बड़े अच्छे लड़के होते थे, वेरी राइट, CSS में।
सर he is very hard working, इंशाल्लाह मजीद मेहनत करेगा, ये बिल्कुल करेगा।
ठीक है, मेहनत करो, अपडेट हो जाओ, नॉलेजेबल हो जाओ।